Welcome back to Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Sal. And today we're going to talk about Daredevil news. But don't forget to check out our sponsor, Gamer Subs, where you can go get yourself some of those powdered drinks. This one is not as chalky as its competitors. I enjoyed it a lot. My recommendations are to get the pineapple-themed ones. That's one of my favorites, but one of the guys upstairs loves the fruit punch. And you can also get your hands on some waifu cups. Really cute little shaker cups with anime women on them. They're great. Check out our sponsor. Use the code COMICS at checkout. All right, Sal.
Yes.
This is more for you because everyone knows I notoriously did not finish the original Daredevil series. I do like it, but I didn't finish it.
It's outrageous.
I still don't know how I haven't gone back and finished that yet.
I don't know.
But I will say, even with my baseline knowledge, I can't believe that they were going to bring back Daredevil Born Again with only half the cast.
I don't even know it. Like the more we learn about the Daredevil Born Again plan, the more confusing it is. Like the fact that they were working on it during lockdowns, or at the very least during like shutdowns, the fact that they scrapped the entire show and decided to retool it from the ground up, the fact that like you said, only some of the cast is coming back, and it seemed like the only two members of the cast from the original series was going to be Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox. Like that was going to be it. Like you hear Deborah Ann Wool going on like every other podcast that's not us talking about how she's like, I've been called, I'm not working at all. In fact, like I might never work again. Yeah, you know, and it's like to suddenly seeing one of those tweets, and I hate that like the sources come from like trust me bro at x.com, but like you know, there's so many places where it's like, but this one in particular was one I was like, I would like to believe it, but I'm starting to see like actual outlets like CBR talk about it. I still don't know, and I would love to know from like the sources, but at the very least there's some hubbub that says that Foggy and Karen are coming back, and I'm like, good. You know, they were great casting, they were terrific characters, and you know, look, like if you really hated Karen that much, she's gonna die. I hate to tell you this, but like Karen dies soon.
Oh, yeah,
like early in her career, so like you'll be okay. And Foggy, I would love to see a Foggy that likes Daredevil, as opposed to a crybaby Foggy like Alfred in the Dark Knight trilogy. Like, I would like to see, because I love this dude as Foggy, and I thought they were all wonderful. We were building towards it, but every time there's a season arc of like them going, oh, Matt,
you can't be Daredevil anymore.
Don't be Daredevil. That's the worst thing you could do. Well, I'm watching a show called Daredevil, so he better be Daredevil at least for as long as the show is on.
I don't know. The issue I always, it really not placates, but plays into the idea that Marvel just completely lost its way.
Completely.
Because after Endgame, every decision that seems to be made, Kevin Feige got us to Endgame. Everything after just doesn't feel like he was involved. Like, no, Kevin Feige wouldn't be like, let's do Daredevil and get rid of everything everyone loved. Like, right. No, I don't feel like he would have done that.
I don't know, because like the thing is, as we all know, like Hollywood is an ego trip. These people are like complete egomaniacs. They constantly like measure each other's Johnsons. The fact is, like, Jeff Loeb and Kevin Feige were feuding during a period when like Marvel TV was coming up and Marvel Studios was being pushed. And as a result, like, that's why when we talked on this channel earlier about how, you know, like Daredevil, Luke Cage, all these shows are officially in the MCU, people are like, how could you say that when it's always been that way? And I'm like, oh yeah? Point to one reference.
Oh yeah. Well, the fact is they just finally announced and confirmed it is.
Right.
Up until now, they have definitively said, maybe.
Yeah, Kevin Feige was always like, no, I'll never tell.
That's what I mean.
But Jeff Loeb would always go, nope, we're not. We're just not. They're not treating us like that.
And it's funny because like that's the same argument people had about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Like, it's not in continuity. They're like, how can you say that? I'm like, it's multiverse bullshit and LMDs. They're not in continuity,
no,
man.
It had the first season. I have no doubt in my mind that there was some belief on both sides that it could be in continuity, but it's very much like the Star Wars continuity pre-Lucasfilm or pre-Disney acquisition, where George Lucas is like, oh yeah, no, all the books are in continuity. As long as there's Lucas books on it, it's in continuity. But secretly, nothing is except for what I worked on.
Yep.
And it's like, that was Marvel, I promise you, was like, oh yeah, no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in continuity unless it contradicts anything we do in the movies. In which case, then it's not in continuity. Straight up not. And I would argue that like there isn't. You could probably even point to a point of divergence where it's like you could say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is 100% in continuity up until this season.
I think
And then after that, forget it.
it's
Basically.
after Winter Soldier and the references to the Hydra carrier and all that stuff, or
Yeah.
the helicarrier, they just stopped referencing each other.
Yeah.
And they just went on this path over here.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, you'd hear occasionally Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be like, oh, they're doing something over there, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, at least they're recognizing it. But yeah, no, there's the current period of Marvel Studios is very much like a Wild West of crap no one cares about, which is really frustrating because, like, there are things that worked and I enjoyed, and I don't want to reiterate or beat this horse, but like at this point, it does feel like there is an absentee like parent involved at the Marvel Studios like level. You know, like the scene of She-Hulk running into a robot called Kevin is maybe more telling than they think. You know, where it's like, oh yeah, no, Kevin will give like the rubber stamp to things, but he ain't watching.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know what he's doing, but it ain't his job.
Well, I mean, after Endgame, the man's just been super busy at this point.
With what?
He's super rich, and he has 80 projects going on right now.
Name 2 of them.
He runs Marvel now.
Well, what does that mean? He's been running Marvel before that.
No, but the comics. He went over to the comics division.
Oh yeah, he didn't do. I promise you, he's more absentee at the comic level than he is in the movie level.
That might be why the comics are all over the place right now.
Yeah, because they're like, you occupy a role that used to actually do things.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
What I'm saying. That's what I feel like's going on. Like, and there was the rumors that he was going to get bored with some Star Wars projects.
I know, and then that fell apart. Apparently, he's 100% off Star Wars. He's not doing anything Star Wars related.
Well, because he got spread too thin.
100%.
Because then also, instead of keeping an eye on 3 movies, he was trying to keep an ie on like 17 projects over the course of 2 years.
Right, where every episode is a movie. You're dealing with like literally hundreds of movies at this point. I appreciate these overextended, and I appreciate that, like, you know, quality is going to dip as a result. But like, then scale back, stop it. Yeah. I know and this is all to say, you know, like, yeah, if you can afford some you know, ease, like just keeping the cast from Daredevil, then for God's sake, take it. You know, that nobody was complaining about the cast outside of people complaining about Elodie Young as Elektra, which I don't understand. I loved her as Elektra, and and I don't care what anybody says. They haven't said anything about her. They've only said, and by they, I mean this nebulous, like, you know, internet factory that says like Deborah Ann Wool is coming back, and the dude who plays Foggy, whose name escapes me, but they're both great.
He's just Foggy forever.
Yeah, he's fine. Fine. And but yeah, and apparently like now that, you know, they got like a showrunners, they have pilots, they're producing these shows like TV shows, or at least they're going to start doing it soon. And Daredevil Born Again,
how many shows do we even have coming out at this point? I think it's just Daredevil.
I mean, hopefully, let's stop. Like, how about Daredevil, and then we're done? Or how about you don't do a Daredevil show that's like 26 episodes? You know, you do the 6 or 7, we enjoy it, and then you stop. And then you put Daredevil in movies.
Agatha's still coming out.
Agatha.
Oh, Agatha. And we still got your friendly... The cartoons I'm ignoring, because the cartoons make sense. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men 97.
Yeah. The X-Men 97 thing. Man.
That's it. That is literally it. That is the last 2 shows, Daredevil and Agatha.
Great. Stop for a minute.
Oh, like, there's Eyes of Wakanda, too.
What?
It just doesn't have a date on it.
Oh.
That's the show they were making about Wakanda.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a star like Okoye.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes. And not to say that like nobody wants a Wakanda show. I think people would love a Wakanda show. But
make it good if you're going to do it.
You're batting 1,000 right now in terms of quality. Maybe reassess.
I guess Iron Heart is still slated. Just no date on it.
Yeah,
and
again,
Wonder Man.
I think that the trick would be, because I heard Wonder Man, like I've heard both. I've heard Wonder Man's over, and I've heard Wonder Man is just not, like, doesn't have a date. I think if
because Armor Wars is now a movie.
It's a movie now, which good. Call it Iron Man. Or War Machine. But
War Machine would be good. Right, and then I forgot that they were making a separate Marvel Zombie show.
Yes, but again,
that's in the cartoon bracket. That's fine.
Any show that's live action that has no date on it, I want to just assume canceled.
Okay, because I mean, all the ones I'm naming, Vision Quest was another one.
Gone. You know, forget about it. Moon Knight season 2. No. We
That's
already
not
saw,
even on this undated list. So
no, and we heard from Tatiana Maslany that there ain't no She-Hulk 2. That there may never be a She-Hulk again.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a whole nother separate episode, but we can mention it real quick. She officially stated they blew the budget, and now budgets are being cut, so they don't think it's ever going to happen.
And she's like, she is like she seems to have inside track on Marvel's reaction to it, and that there ain't going to be no more She-Hulk unless she's in a movie. Which again, thought she was great. I love She-Hulk. Put her in the movies. Don't waste your budgets on $22 million movies.
We'll talk about that separate in a second because let's wrap up this particular episode.
Daredevil's
great.
Daredevil's great. Bring back the cast. Bring back everybody. I like the guy who played Bullseye. Put him in the Bullseye costume. Let's go.
I just want Elektra to come back.
Me too. I'm down. Elektra, yay.
All right. Thanks for watching today's episode. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Gamer Subs. Use the code COMICS at checkout. We'll see you next time. Let's do a She-Hulk.